Oh, we're talking about the magic of creativity, of really bringing this together. So, uh, yeah, share with us, brother, your feeling.
Hey, Lenita. So I'm gonna recap. I've been invited to participate in Tony Robbins' event, which is called Unleash the Power, and it took place in Germany just recently. And it did the thing. Energetically, I feel more inspired, more aligned, more in my true self, more in that unleash the power within. And during the event, the first day was very beautiful. I've been dancing and like it's all beautiful. The second day, I was engaged in the event, but I started noticing like some kind of feelings that I was not willing to go for. And the
Do
part
you mind
that
if I
I
ask what,
really,
do you mind if I ask what feelings you didn't want to go for?
this, as I said, it was disgusting, like the way it's been done,
Mhm.
the event,
But I'm
the some parts
curious.
of the event.
I'm
Yeah,
curious about the feelings that you were
disgusting. Yeah,
like.
disgusting.
So you had feelings in you that were disgusting that you didn't want to go
Yeah.
and curious about.
No, 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 no. I have a feelings of criticism when I chose not to. Yeah, so I have skepticism. Like I start feeling that it's kind of programming,
Mhm.
which is, and I did not want it to be programmed because that's not what I want anyone to be done with. And so the part I want to talk in the event was that the first day was all good. The second day was even more powerful into opening mind, opening perspectives, opening curiosity, like opening and deleting the like going into the negative feelings and deleting those feelings and putting them away and then replacing with the new whatever everyone chose to write. Um, and what I what I what I didn't like that if I would be a Tony Robbins, right? If I would be something leading this kind of transformational change, I'm all yes for opening it up. I'm all yes for cleaning the mess. I'm all yes for that. What I'm not for is after opening up to people for 2 days straight, start telling them courses, start telling them that they all need coaches, and making that very limiting. So like the the whole crowd was repeating, say yes, maybe 1,000 times a day. And then on top of that, you start selling the events, and then you making a very good deal, and then you making it look very even better deal, and then you make a very very small price compared to what you're selling it for, and then you say you have 1 hour to make decision, and successful people make decision how fast now, say yes. That I don't like, I don't respect. That's not fucking transformational adventure. You put people into openness and then you strand them again. You need to buy a course. If you want to live in this world, you need to buy a course. You're going to have 18, 20 months to spend with us. Then they sell the events to Fiji, right? And they sell it as if Tony Robbins would be with them in the audience all the time, which is not the case. They don't tell that. So there is a lot of manipulative sales in all that organization that I'm really not agreeing with. Like tools they are using, knowledge they are using. It's a general, fundamental, universal knowledge and laws. There's nothing authentic about Tony Robbins over there. It's just our nature. Everybody uses the same Dr. Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, you name it. Everybody channels from the same frequencies. They are stranding people and putting people in debt, in credits. Not all of them, but most of the people gonna be like borrowing money or doing something to get that they sell for $2,000, which is worth 11,000. No, sorry, like that you need to pay later. So they make it so say yes, and I don't agree because they teach liberation, they teach leadership, and what they do, they put the leaders back into following. Follow us. That's the way. So they're not creating leaders; they're creating followers, and
So
they're
I think this
pitching
is,
as
I
they're
think this is,
creating.
brother, I think this is your perspective, and I think it's beautiful perspective. However, I disagree with you because I've been through the whole journey. I've walked the whole path, and this is just simply not true. So you don't know what you don't know, and you've watched my journey unfold from behind the scenes, and I know the value that's created behind the scenes. And although it may be limited or it feels like it's a sale or things like this, the truth is that successful people do make decisions now. That's just a fact. We don't need to focus on not making change. We don't need to focus on the limitations. The experience of going or becoming a plat. I ended up doing it a day after when I was in 2019. I did it because I felt it was the right thing to do, and it helped me discover a cognitive process inside of me that allowed me to facilitate true change inside of taking responsibility. And yes, of course, the money is a big part of it, and it was a big part of it for me back then. And I discovered that the real value is who I am, but so it's not
Exactly.
about the money. It was about discovering who I am. And if people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on university and things like this, and they have an opportunity to go to Life and Wealth or to Business Mastery or to do these things that are fundamentally in the right coherence that make change, I think it's a steal of a tuition for those that do want to invest in themselves. It's almost like when you have when you have a knowing that something is really good and it's made change for 47 years, you have a moral responsibility to offer that to people. Now, is there an anchor that's created? Well, yeah, of course. I mean, people are in a space of heightened emotional intelligence, in a space that is congruent to what feels correct. And when that feeling is correct, and the real ability that's given me over this journey of being involved in all of these events is I'm so anchored at this heightened sense of emotional intelligence and physical beingness that's taken me to spiritual leaders around the planet that help me follow these words and take action now. And it's given me a certainty in every single one of the environments that I walk into that gives me absolute state of grace and compassion wherever I move.
Mm.
So I can totally appreciate from an observer perspective or the first time feeling that way. And that feeling of criticism and disgust and things like this, I think it's important that we invite ourselves all, and not just you, is whenever though, and not even just in these times, is like, where can we actually start to resonate and take more of a thing that maybe there's things that we don't know that we don't know? Because, most people will say a lot of things about Tony, whether he's not there or he's there, but when you meet the man in person and you spend a moment with him, you know that he's in absolute devoted service. And I have had the ability to communicate with him. And yeah, you're right. He's not at Life and Wealth, and he's not even there on the second day at UPW. But he's all the time there during Date with Destiny, and he's all the time there during Business Mastery, and he's always in service. And he's done this, for 47 years. And at the beginning, he was there doing this way more. So personally, I believe the man has earned his stripes. The man has devoted this type of behavior and intelligence. And to compare him to, you know, a new person that is just learning. It's just not fair to what the man has created. And so I personally will honor, you know, this man's intelligence, this man's devotion, this man's certainty, because he deserves it. And he doesn't have anything left to prove to people that are not walking the path. You know, it's difficult. Um, it's difficult to walk the path, but I don't believe he has anything to prove to you, me, or anyone else. Um, and the value that he's created in my life has been profound, and that's all I can speak
Totally.
to.
But this. So you're talking about the value you got from Tony Robbins, and I'm
Well, no,
talking about.
me, and many
I'm.
others
T-
that I know as well.
I don't. I tell you, like I love what he does. I don't like those parts that I feel is manipulative. I don't judge anything about Tony's work. Like I really appreciate. I tell you, the process is happening. I stepped in more. I am open more. I see more clear. What again, like for me, it's not a healthy way. It's manipulative way, and it's very easy to play with people on highly on the emotions, highly on love. Like it's very easy. How do you know how
That's what the
how?
universe, brother.
But how?
So
Yeah.
the emotional intelligence and emotional fitness is how we actually start to create a more heightened level of paradigm in the elements of planet Earth. So if we are here to change the world and operate from that level of paradigm, then it's important to utilize our emotional fitness with our intelligence to amplify our heart's wisdom. And so it's absolutely imperative that people make decisions from a heightened level of emotion so that they know that there is a safety and secure. Because if you're feeling manipulated,
Yeah.
I would invite yourself to ask yourself, where have I manipulated myself or not taken responsibility of the feeling of being
Mm,
manipulated from the past by somebody else?
mm.
Because what you're seeing is a mirror of what you're feeling within yourself, and in the past maybe that's what you have felt is manipulated.
Let me try to build the bridge between you two
I'm curious. Yeah,
Me
about
too.
others' opinions.
to bring balance in this situation. I totally understand Sigitas. I had the same feeling the first time. So your feeling is correct, but you're translated to manipulativeness. Their intention is not to be manipulative. I was at the selling booth, and of
Mm,
course they try to sell it. But if there is a doubt, they don't push through, they send you away. That needs to be a decision you make. So the intent is not to be manipulate you in buying. The intent is to help you on your path. And I'm
that I see.
allergic to
That I
I'm
see.
allergic to the call to actions. Eh? Well, when you're selling something and they use the techniques of selling, but with the right intention, and then it's not manipulation, it's inviting them to go on the path. And that part you felt. And you've also felt that there is a little bit pushing. There is a little bit pushing because that's how it works. But with the right intent, it can't be manipulation because they only want to bring you on the path where you discover yourself and where you develop yourself, you grow, and finally you contribute to the world. That's what Tony wants. Tony is not there for himself or to make money. He has lots of it. He's there to develop people. And he discovered that if you don't pay, you don't put the effort in. So there has to be an offer. And yeah, if you have the knowledge to sell it, sell it. So I totally feel you. So the feeling is correct,
Mm,
but you're coloring it with manipulativeness. Well, his intent is pure gold.
Mhm.
That's his intent. So you feel the right feeling,
I would
but
even
with the
say it's
wrong
intent,
intention.
because intention is pathway road to hell. But so I would even say it's intention, Ronald. I would
Hmm.
say it's just facts. right?
or
Like
inviting or whatever. But
like
I totally feel what Sigitas feels. I have the same feeling always when something like this happens, because they're using techniques of NLP to say yes, 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 and then the
Yeah, yeah,
fourth question is make a
yeah.
deal, and then everybody say yes, yes. But that's not the intent.
I totally agree with intent. Totally. It's not. It could be not intent, and it is not intent. I'm curious. Your
Well, I noticed it's just the discrepancies about and I will try to do a little record because I know it's like in the electronics, but I know other organizations that I love, like SECAM, and sometimes I feel like you are putting Sigitas. And I, because it's not just because in Tony, because you say sometimes it's just putting the people in these high stakes and then selling something. It's some of the techniques of these parts. But I am just curious, or I am feeling, or my hallucination is actually you like the content, like the actually content of the do you feel you say it's
yeah.
not open Instagram like that, but you don't like the strategy to actually engage with more the people. That is the selling part. That's how I actually sometimes feeling with Ekam and this part, because I love the knowledge, I love the journey, I love all these parts, but sometimes they start doing like these marketing purposes that feel off sometimes, because you're selling me this spiritual journey, and then you start doing
Yeah,
me like that, like
yeah.
that. That's when I start like doubling a little bit. But for me it's like trying to not engaging with this. I know it, I feel that it's there, but trying to actually, if I want to the information that is here, well, I am trying to push through it a little bit more, being in there. And that's my journey again with not Tony's, but with Ekam. I have been in out of courses and I've been a lot of stuff, but sometimes I don't be like full inside of the force or all the full journey that they are doing, because when they start selling me to me they feel off, but when I start listening
Yeah.
to they call the acknowledgement, the knowledge on what they are doing and all these practices, okay, well, that's interest to me, and then that's why I'm paying for. But there's the discrepancies about the techniques they are using, so of
Yeah.
trying to actually make the not I'm not going to say profit as they need money, is because it's the business model they is working around.
Hey,
It's
but
not
maybe that's
comes,
what it
is
is.
whatever. Uh-huh.
Maybe how Eric is saying, right? Like the fundamentally people are making decision in a high state, which I have not had that perspective, Eric, that you brought. Like when people in that high state, they make decision, but I'm not gonna like, and it could be, and that's the healthiest decision to make. State. What I'm skeptic is it their decision authentically in that
well,
moment. So with the selling technique, they could put it in a day for as an option. If people felt that was valuable, then everybody can just go and buy. If that's
but I
so
think
valuable, you don't need to pitch it so much and give it so many discounts. People will buy it anyway.
if they feel it's valuable, it from my perspective, like the heightened state is where it's true.
I hope
And
so. I
your
hope so.
mind is usually the one that tells you that there's something wrong. Um, and so that's the beautiful part of following, our heart's wisdom, is that it guides us to a decision that is taking away the egoic barrier. And I think that that's the biggest kind of opportunity that we can all learn more about, is recognizing that the true decisions come from this actual true state of behavior. And
So, oh, sorry, I thought it.
and the only thing that actually separates us is when we're thinking, that there is some sort of a manipulation or separation happening. And I think that there's a uniqueness in identifying that in the way that we feel. because the feeling is what matters. And if it feels right, right, then that's how the person gets to decide and make it.
So like Ronald said, like everyone has to make the decision has to be clear. And if somebody comes with a doubt, they send away that information I could not have. So I would like to hear Elenita if has anything to say around that. And hello.
Hello. Well, I thought I have half an hour, so I would come in Zoom for half an hour. And I didn't really know what was what we were going to discuss here. But I can relate to your feeling, of course. I had the same thing when they started with the programs, and it's like a selling speech. But in the end, it's your own choice. And
exactly.
You have time to think about the choice. And I didn't felt pushed to make the choice. And because I was seriously considering to buy Master University, the total package. And in the end, I talked to people about it, and I thought if it was the right time for me at this moment, and it felt for me like that it's true. If you know, you know. And I knew this year is not the right time for me. Next year will be the right time for me. And then if you know, you know.
Beautiful. So yeah, that's beautiful. Really.
Yeah, because the sense I got is the disgusting part is not in the information, but how they present it. So it's more like the let it be about this part. Is the guilt of everything and everyone doing it. It's not you. It's
I
because
agree
it's
with the fact.
So
yeah, but I do agree with the fact that it has to cost you something. You have to make an effort to commit.
Definitely, that's non-negotiable. But so what I would like to express fundamentally is that if I am a part of the team and we are the team, and if we create any kind of transformational events for people to heal, the maximum price is like not the price, but the payment should be done in the end of the event, and contribution based. That is value for value. And if I don't want to participate in any events that would be transformational, spiritual, that would have sales pitch during the event, between, or whatever. Like I
don't
feel
know. This is how this world. This is how this world
but
works.
This is yeah, and I respect that. I just share my opinion and how I see it could be done better. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I would put it that way. It could be better, but the selling pitch feel not off or not different between information, but actually feel more integrated part. That's why I feel about the digital is proposing. Like it can be better in the say that the selling pitch cannot be have to be like willing to or with the information.
Yeah. So if like
connected with information.
On extreme, like if I would put that in extreme, like let's say we make a ayahuasca ceremony, and after 12 hours we start selling our products to people. That's pretty much if I could align what I saw.
That's happened. That's what happens in ceremonies all the time. The elders give the gifts. They have gifts that they lay out at the end, and you have an opportunity to purchase the crafts from the elders and from the tribes. Yeah. So this is a very common thing, and you get to gift them. They ask for what they choose to offer, and you can pay them. Like when I was with multiple different of the leaders, they gifted me great gifts, and I chose to pay them.
Yeah.
You know, however, most of the things that were being sold, they were being sold after these ceremonies. So it still is a very similar concept, the exchange of value, in terms, just so that you're aware of it as well. The Robin's research is primarily owned by the employees, right? So it's not owned by Tony. It's owned by the employees. So Tony's yeah, he's the chairman and things like this. So the benefit of his presence and the development that he offers is a contribution in that time and energy, and whatever is created is benefiting the employees as well as the people that he's serving. So there's a lot of things that you don't know that you don't know, because
100%.
you're assuming that things are being done out of a limited perspective of value, where there is so much value that is being contributed upfront on multiple different occasions and over the last 5 decades, right? Like, so it's been this consistency, and by this cultivation, it creates lasting change. So this is something that, you know, he's, and by the way, Bitcoin only started 15 years ago, and he's been able to deliver the meaning of living is giving, and fundamentally following the process of the golden rule, to do to others as you would like to have done to yourself, way before the Bitcoin principles or the natural law. He's been able to integrate that on multiple different dimensions with a fiat experience, with a fiat mentality. So that is a level of mastery that he's been able to devote his life to help us cultivate by actually being in service. And so he's always cross-pollinating industry service. It's why he owns 150 companies. It's why he's able to leverage so much of his time, because he's developed the structure, the leverage, and the optics to develop a true growth and transformational development in all the things, in all the cultures. And of course, does that mean that there needs to be always consistent and never-ending improvement? Of course. And my hallucination is that it's very important that we observe from a perspective where, even though we may not be aware, there's this beautiful saying that those that jump in the void cannot be judged by the people that are not walking or alongside in that void. You know what I mean? And he's been in the void for 50 years, you know, following, creating a path ahead of us. And so, unless we're doing exactly what he's been doing for the last 50 years, I personally choose to listen and learn and observe the wisdom of cultivation.
So you're talking about completely different thing, brother. You're talking about, you know, him and his values and his techniques and his knowledge and his contributions to the world. And I'm talking about completely strategic ways of like selling. Like this doesn't resonate at all.
It's the same thing, because he is the one that curates and creates it all. So whether it's him or the strategy, it's the same thing that you're referring to, because this is his event. So he's curated it based off of his understanding of the way that he's optimized, you know, decades of experience.
100%. And
Can I
it
ask
seems
you
like it's very
something?
successful. Yeah, me?
Can I ask
Or Eric?
something?
Or who? Yes.
Because the discussion about whether it feels like selling or not does not really give me any energy. And I'm curious, because I know Eric and Ronald, you've been to numerous events of Tony Robbins, also Unleash the Power. And I feel so energized since the event. And I almost cannot believe that it's going to stay this way. So can you tell me how did this work for you after the first event? Does it wear out? Does it stay? What can you do?
Thank you. This is beautiful. Thank you for these questions. It's an amazing opportunity for creating solutions. The opportunity always of recognizing the moments of grace and seeing how everything is a mirror and an opportunity as you spend these principles of cognitive awareness to then integrating it into your every single day. This is what's going to give you even more energy because you choose to look at all of these mirrors around you, and what it gives you is an opportunity to really reflect from what's inside of you. And this becomes a really profound opportunity of stepping into a responsible identity in life. Because when we choose to step into responsible identity in terms of life, we start to curate every single moment of our lives. So therefore, all the tools that are being offered, right? Like if you're feeling all this energy at the event, the great part of it is that you get to do that outside. Real stage, it's not Tony's stage. The real stage is planet Earth. The real stage is like going to the shopping mall and spending time with your friends and being with your family. That's the real stage. And that's what cultivates a real transformational experience because from that level, you start to say, wow, I'm so inspired by something way more than myself. I'm so uh, congruent to, and this part of me is inside of me. And you start to see that there's such a level of infinite level of energy that is always consistently coming through you. And for me, this has been about this curiosity. So the quality that you also offered right now in terms of your question, saying, hey, how can I be more energetic, is the same questions to to facilitate when you're with somebody that is maybe be triggering you in a moment and saying, what can I do better? How can I show up better? Because fundamentally, whenever we project any opinion onto the outside world, right, it's coming from it's just a confession of how we see ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but did you stay in this state? If you go back to the first time you went to this event, the very first time, because now you've been going a lot of times. You're totally into it, and I'm just starting. Did you also have this feeling every day, every month after the first event?
Yeah, so there's a moments of fear, right? Like it's always going to show up. The opportunity is what are some of the practices? So integrating priming, integrating your own meditation practices, going for a walk, spending time in nature, really listening and being present to your children or your loved ones. These are going to be things that allow you to actually recognize and facilitate a true change in your own state. Because when you're listening to somebody else and you're allowing them uh, to wholly be themselves and wholly emphasize their own nature, that level of presence is helping you find things about yourself. So yes, I understand I've been going for a long time. I've been integrating this, but fundamentally, remember what Tony says, physiology first. So what are you going to do to get your body into more of a healthy state, whether that's going to the gym, whether that's taking care of your body, whether that's eating healthy, what do you choose to focus on, right? What do you choose to focus on? How do you choose to like really emphasize the experience of paying attention, the books you're reading, the podcasts you're listening to, the people you're spending time with. Like these are going to be super important things. And by the way, this lighthouse is going to be available for you every single day because like we're integrating. So this is going to be a great opportunity for you to stay in that state by us holding this area and this energy so that we can continue to light it up, and wherever people come from anywhere in the planet, it's going to be a way that you can continue to anchor every single day. And then as a result, you can go on with the rest of your day or wherever you are in the world. It might be different, but like in terms of time zones. But that's the purpose of these calls, these meetups, is to just genuinely give more than we ever expect to receive. And as a result, you get to facilitate because I didn't have this. I didn't have this. So this is why we're integrating and creating this.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
Let
It's
me
beautiful. Thank you.
let me give you the honest answer. After the first one, I experienced when you get into the real world, you miss the Tony world. And just like Eric says, with the Lighthouse, you stay in connection with the Tony world, so you don't leave your state. My first Tony event was 2016, and I went again in 2023 because I thought, I needed to go. And at Date with Destiny last year, I made my final breakthroughs. So, the famous saying is the teacher appears when the student is ready. And you just said, I need to go next year. So you're not ready yet. And that's how it works. It's for every person different. But what I can guarantee you is that you will grow. You will grow. That's what happens. And that's, how you grow. It depends on how you play life and how you play the game. And when you're ready, you're ready.
Yeah, true. Okay, thank you very much. I have to leave. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I hope to see you again.
See you next time.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.
See you next time. We got Alex here as well. Hello, Alex. And I think we missed Leonardo there earlier. Hey, Alex. How are
Hey
you, brother?
guys. I'm on my way
Alex.
back home. I just came from Köln. I still haven't arrived, but I'm very good. Nice to be here.
It's good to see you,
Nice.
brother.
Good to see you.
I'm really excited for these calls to continue. So tomorrow I'm going to be flying back to Canada, but so we'll continue these calls starting Saturday every single day moving forward from that day. And I look forward to continuing this manifestation of lighting it up, my friends. It's so nice to see all of you. Yes, brother. Yeah. So, and of course, feel free to share these calls or even the chat group with anybody that you feel might align to it or might need some additional just guidance or support or just like the family that is here to help each other. So
Yeah.
I think that this is what is all for, is to take care of each other. This is the and it's so nice because I didn't have this in 2019 when I did this, and I just had this certain state of self. And what I realized is that not everybody has this this certainty. So it's nice that we can look after each other. And this is what it's all about. So thank you, brothers, for all being here. I love you all. And I'll see you guys on Saturday.
Yeah, much love.
See you. Ciao.
Ciao. Love you guys. Hugs.